House on Mango Street, page 53, the first job. It wasn't as if I didn't want to work. I did. I had even gone to the Social Security office the month before to get my Social Security number. I needed money. The Catholic high school costs a lot, and Papa said nobody went to public school unless you wanted to turn out bad. I thought I'd find an easy job, the kind the other kids had, working in the dime store or maybe a hot dog stand. And though I hadn't started looking yet, I thought I might the week after next. But when I came home that afternoon, all wet because Tito had pushed me into the open water hydrant, only I had sort of let him, Mama called me into the kitchen before I could even go and change. And Aunt Lala was sitting there drinking her coffee with a spoon. Aunt Lala says she has found a job for me at the Peter Pan photo finishers on North Broadway, where she worked. And how old was I? And to show up tomorrow saying I was 1 year older. And that was that. The next morning, I put on the navy blue dress that made me look older and borrowed money for lunch and bus fare because Aunt Lala said I wouldn't get paid till next Friday. And I went in and saw the boss of the Peter Pan photo finishers on North Broadway, where Aunt Lala worked, and lied about my age like she told me to. And sure enough, I started that same day. In my job, I had to wear white gloves. I was supposed to match negatives with their prints. Just look at the picture, look for the same one on the negative strip, put it in the envelope, and do the next one. That's all. I don't know where these envelopes were coming from or where they were going. I just did what I was told. It was real easy, and I guess I wouldn't have minded it, except that you got tired after a while, and I didn't know if I could sit down or not, and then I started sitting down only when the two ladies next to me did. And after a while, they started to laugh and came up to me and said I could sit when I wanted to. And I said, I knew. When lunchtime came, I was scared to eat alone in the company lunchroom with all those men and ladies looking, so I ate real fast, standing in one of the washroom stalls, and had lots of time left over, so I went back to work early. But then break time came, and not knowing where else to go, I went into the coat room because there was a bench there. I guess it was the time for the night shift or middle shift to arrive before a few people came in and punched the time clock, and an older Oriental man said hello. And we talked for a while about my just starting, and he said we could be friends, and the next time to go to the lunchroom and sit with him. I felt better. He had nice eyes, and I didn't feel so nervous anymore. Then he asked if I knew what day it was, and when I said he didn't, he said it was his birthday, and would I please give him a birthday kiss? I thought I would because he was so old, and just as I was about to put my lips on his cheek, he grabs my face with both hands and kisses me hard on the mouth and doesn't let go. Page 56. Papa, who wakes up tired in the dark. Your abuelito is dead, Papa says early one morning in my room. Está muerto, and then, as if he just heard the news himself, crumples like a coat and cries. My brave Papa cries. I have never seen my Papa cry and don't know what to do. I know he will have to go away, that he will take a plane to Mexico. All the uncles and aunts will be there, and they will have a black and white photo taken in front of the tomb with flowers shaped like spears in a white vase, because this is how they send the dead away in that country. Because I'm the oldest, my Papa has told me first, and now it's my turn to tell the others. I will have to explain why we can't play. I will have to tell them to be quiet today. My papa, his thick hands and thick shoes, who wakes up tired in the dark, who combs his hair with water, drinks his coffee, and is gone before we wake, today is sitting on my bed. And I think if my own papa died, what would I do? I hold my papa in my arms. I hold and hold and hold him. Page 58. Born bad. Most likely I will go to hell, and most likely I deserve to be there. My mother says I was born on an evil day and prays for me. Lucy and Rachel pray too, for ourselves and for each other, because all what we did to Aunt Lupe. Her name was Guadalupe, and she was pretty like my mother, dark, good to look at, in her Joan Crawford dress and swimmer's legs, Aunt Lupe of the photographs. But I knew her sick from disease that would not go, her legs bunched under the yellow sheets, the bones gone limp as worms, the yellow pillow, the yellow smell, the bottles and spoons, her head thrown back like a thirsty lady, my aunt, the swimmer. Hard to imagine her legs once strong, the bones hard, and parting water, clear, sharp strokes, not bent and wrinkled like a baby, not drowning under the sticky yellow light, second floor rear apartment, the naked light bulb, the high ceilings, the light bulb always burning. I don't know who decides who deserves to go bad. There was no evil in her birth, no wicked curse. A day I believe she was swimming, and the next day she was sick. It might have been the day that gray photograph was taken. It might have been the day she was holding cousin Tachi and baby Frank. It might have been the moment she pointed to the camera for the kids to look, and they wouldn't. Maybe the sky didn't look the day she fell down. Maybe God was busy. It could be true she didn't drive right one day and hurt her spine. Or maybe the story that she fell very hard from a high, steep step stool, like Tachi said, is true. But I think diseases have no eyes. They pick with a dizzy finger anyone, just anyone. Like my aunt, who happened to be walking down the street one day in her Joan Crawford dress, in her funny felt hat with the black feather, cousin Chachi in one hand, baby Frank in the other. Sometimes we get used to the sick, and sometimes the sickness, if it is there too long, gets to seem normal. That is how it was with her. And maybe this is why we chose her. It was a game, that's all. It was the game we played every afternoon since that day one of us invented it. I can't remember who. I think it was me. You had to pick somebody. You had to think of someone everybody knew, someone you could imitate, and everyone else would have to guess who it was. I started out with famous people, Wonder Woman, the Beatles, Marilyn Monroe. Then suddenly thought it'd be better if I changed my game a little. If we pretended we were Mr. Benny or his wife Blanca or Ruthie or anybody we knew. I don't know why we picked her. Maybe we were bored that day. Maybe we got tired. We liked my aunt. She listened to our stories. She always asked us to come back, Lucy, me, Rachel. I hated to go there alone. The 6 blocks to the dark apartment, second floor rear building where sunlight never came. And what did it matter? My aunt was blind by then. She never saw the dirty dishes in the sink. She couldn't see the ceilings dusty with flies, the ugly maroon walls, the bottles, and sticky spoons. I can't forget the smell, like sticky capsules filled with jelly. My aunt, a little oyster, a little piece of meat on an open shell for us to look at. Hello, hello, as if she'd fallen into a well. I took my library books to her house. I read her stories. I liked the book, The Water Babies. She liked it too. I never knew how sick she was until that day I tried to show her one of the pictures in the books. A beautiful color picture of water babies swimming in the sea. I held the book up to her face. I can't see it, she said. I'm blind. And then I was ashamed. She listened to every book, every poem I read her. One day I read her one of my own. I came very close. I whispered into the pillow, I want to be like the waves on the sea, like the clouds in the wind. But I'm me. One day I'll jump right out of my skin. I'll shake the sky like 100 violins. That's nice. That's very good, she said in her tired voice. You just remember to keep writing, Esperanza. You must keep writing. It will keep you free. And I say yes. But all that time I didn't know what she meant. The day we played the game, we didn't know she was going to die. We pretended with our heads thrown back, our arms limp and useless, dangling like the dead. We laughed the way she did. We talked the way she talked, the way blind people talk without moving their head. We imitated the way you had to lift her head a little so she could drink water. She sucked it up slow out of the green tin cup. The water was warm and tasted like metal, Lucy laughed. Rachel, too. We took turns being her. We screamed in the weak voice of the parrot that for Tachi to come and wash those dishes. It was easy. We didn't know. She'd been dying such a long time, we forgot. Maybe she was ashamed. Maybe she was embarrassed it took so many years. The kids who wanted to be kids instead of washing dishes and ironing their papa's shirt, and the husband who wanted a wife again. And then she died. My aunt who listened to my poems, and then she began to dream the dreams.